At the same time, there is casting out the old and creating something new. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is your waning moon reading for February 2020. So we're looking from the 10th of February onwards, from the full moon in Leo, going towards the new moon in Pisces, going towards the end of the zodiac. Now this is a bulk introduction for all 12 signs, so there'll be a timestamp down below if you watch more than one, because you want to watch more than one: sun, moon and rising sign, and through the filters of sun, moon and rising. So your heart with the sun, what you are becoming with your rising sign, your emotions with your moon sign. Now it's I would normally say ask a question prior to my reading, and you can, but I am asking the question: what should we, your sign, be reducing alongside the waning moon? As the moon's light fades, what should we let fade with it? So it's a general reading. Roles, if there are any, can be reversed. Timing's not absolute. We are still in the effects of the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, the eclipses over Christmas and the New Year. So there's a lot going on in the sky. So if the reading means anything to you, do comment down below. Please press subscribe while you're there. In fact, press subscribe now. Go on. But in the meantime, let me bring up the cards. Right, Cancer, I'm going to call this reading Hold Your Faith. Or Keep the Faith. Something in those, because that's what these cards are very much telling me. The God that is working with you, Laertes, with faithfulness. We have the Hierophant. We have Trust on the Oracle cards. And bear in mind, a new start is coming. Prosperity lies ahead. All for the new moon. But it looks like you're going through some, let's say, clearing in the meantime. We have, for the stuff for you to get rid of, 10 of Swords, the World, 6 of Pentacles, clarified by Page of Chalices, 8 of Chalices, and Judgment. Sorry, post just arrived, made me jump. You've had your answers. Yeah, I mean, you've had a rough time of it. You've had your answers. That is coming to an end now. This Page of Chalices, it's almost like they're sprinkling somebody's ashes at the riverside. That's what it looks like to me. Although, I mean, it can be a fresh new dream, and it could be fairy dust, and there's feathers coming out of that. But there's at the same time, there is casting out the old and creating something new, all at the same time. And this is because you've had, or you are going to be receiving, some form of resolution, some form of finality about something that has been tormenting you. But with this consciousness of lack here, I'm seeing that you're feeling that you've been, maybe it's debts to you, maybe it's debts that you are in debt of. I think maybe more debts to you, and I would say don't worry about them. That there's a rebirth coming when it comes to your position around debt, whether it's people owing you something or you owing out. Either way, there's a rebirth. You've just got to trust, hold the faith, and your material resources, on your ability to access everything that you need, is going to be affirmed. You're going to be able to manifest, and it's almost going to be magical. I always think in this prismatic tarot, the Queen of Pentacles feels most magical, which you don't necessarily get with the Earth sign Queen. There is luck coming your way at the end of it, something that is a cause for celebration. But you have to keep the faith. I mean, the God that is working to suppress you, here is Orpheus. And it says on the card, music. But remember, Orpheus is the guy who lost his faith at the very last moment as he was about to return to the world of the living from the underworld, and he turned round to look at his lover, Eurydice, and because he turned to look at her, she was reclaimed by the land of the dead. So, your oracle card from, I was inspired to use the Oracle of Heaven and Hell by Bloodstone Studios with this, is the angel Hamaya with ritual and ceremony, or the Goetic spirit Halfas with falsehood. The angel was the strongest one on here, the angel being upright. Ritual and ceremony. Yes, you've been doing the same thing again and again and again and not receiving the right result, but it's been the right thing that you have been doing, and that is going to come around. But with ritual and ceremony, I'm also feeling that you need to spend some time to just dedicate yourself to you, to your own devotion, to whatever you interpret spirituality to be, or God to be, or your higher self to be. Devote your sen to the divine within you for a little while. Spend some time looking at that, rebuild that sense of trust, because with this Ten of Swords, it's had a battering, but it's had a battering for you to get rid of the bits that you didn't need. Because you can, by casting out the old and magicking up the new, things will come round at the right time where you are balancing two aspects of yourself, two contradictory energies. Here with the moon, it's the tame and the wild. And this will come about at the right time. And that right time is pretty much here, with the Wheel of Fortune at the very end. Illusions will be dispelled as that dust is flown out onto the river. Do not, here's what you need to reduce. Do not be tempted to fall into a pattern of, stuff it, I've had enough, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm walking off. Eight of Cups, clarifying the world here. You may have been blindfolded and ignorant to some of the things that are going on in the world because you've been focused on other things, i.e. this Ten of Swords, but it doesn't mean that good things have stopped happening, it's just you couldn't see them at the time. And now there are good things to come around, but some of your Eight of Cups going to the moon here, there are misconceptions, illusions, dreams that you have been thinking of wanting to go ahead with. They've turned out hollow or false, or lies, or based on shifting sands, whatever. And you're very tempted to turn your back on it and go, well, stuff the lot of it. No. Keep the faith. Dismiss those things that you learn to be falsehoods. Concentrate on you. Put aside that sense of debt, because debts are going to be paid, or at least they are going to be reborn in such a way that you to breathe easier. I'm feeling quite a link between this Judgment and Temperance card, is that you will receive an understanding if it's debts that people are owing you, so some form of realization, or you will receive some form of reprieve or understanding or ability to sort debts that you are owing out. But there's an internal accounting process here. This guy here, he's weighing and measuring all of his pentacles, well, pentagons in this case, but they're being forged slowly into that one pentacle with the Queen here, where magic comes from. It's like from a tiny seed, a great tree grows, and that's what I'm seeing in this Temperance card, which could also be a water geyser, thinking about it, but I'm seeing it as a tree right now. Do not lose faith. It's that last minute losing faith that worries me. Each dream, measure it. Each plan that you had, measure them. Are they worth it? You've had so much clarity You just need to sort through that information and go, that dream, yeah, that got damaged by everything that's going on, and it's based on a lie, or it's based on a falsehood, a misunderstanding. I can get rid of this one. This dream here, actually, that's not been affected by everything that's going on. I can keep this. So bear in mind, one of the things that you want to look at all of your dreams, all the stuff that you're tempted to walk away from, say, do I keep it or does it go? And if it's been unaffected by the revelations that you've had recently, keep it. Don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, so if this means anything to you, Cancer, comment down below. Please press subscribe while you're there. Your next reading will be your new moon reading. And of course, tomorrow I will be filming my greatly titled Martian Galactic Downloads as Mars conjuncts the Galactic Center. Basically, anything that conjuncts the Galactic Center, apparently each planet gets recharged, reprogrammed to a certain extent. So it will express itself in a slightly different way. I mean, the themes will still be the same, but the energy will be reinvigorated. So, yeah, stay tuned. Cheers.